I'm Darren Leopold. I'm rising junior, and I go to the college in New Jersey. And my work is I did something called a genome-wide association study, looking for genes that encode for resistance against caterpillars in corn. So the plants, they have natural defense mechanisms against caterpillars, and that's something we're going to try to utilize. So the caterpillar we looked at is an invasive species called the beet armyworm that's responsible for a lot of crop damage. So it'd be very important to make crops that are resistant against this insect. And what a genome-wide association study is you have a whole genetically varied population of corn that we use, and we're going to test how well the caterpillars do on each plant sample. And then because we have the genome for all these plants, we're going to do a very large correlation to try to find what genes across the corn genome are associated with the caterpillars not feeding well, which could potentially lead us to genes that are responsible for resistance against caterpillars. So the way to visualize that, it's called a Manhattan plot, kind of because these look like Manhattan skyline. So the higher the plot goes, that means the higher the correlation it has with that area of the genome. So then you could look in and look for genes. So we had we exposed the plants to the armyworms, weighed them, tested them. We also did some compound analysis with metabolites to look for chemicals that could be associated with these genes. And finally, we have our final Manhattan plots. This one's for the caterpillar performance. And it's a lot, but what we could do is we could pick out these kind of heats over here that look like they're very clustered and they're very tall, meaning that that specific portion of the genome might be a gene that we could look for. And then what you do is you go on to these genome websites and you go in these regions and you look around for genes, read into their functions, and hopefully find something that's associated with a defense pathway. So that's about what we did. We established a nice foundation for looking at genes in the future. And hopefully we could test out these genes, make mutants of them to see which ones have an effect on caterpillar resistance more definitively. And if it works out, the end goal would be make genetically modified plants that have greater resistance to the caterpillars.
Very nice work. Were you able to identify any genes that were previously identified as being found in defense pathways?
No. So unfortunately, this part here was done very time constrained, like in the last couple of days. So we only had a couple hours to look through the genome and pick out some stuff. And a lot of the genes that we did see were unknown functions, not categorized before. So it would take some more looking into to see what was actually associated and what may not be.
That's very exciting, though. Perhaps it's a whole different gene that's not been characterized. Exciting. Very nice work. Thank you.